Welcome back to Relevant Tips. Thanks for joining us. Today, we are privileged. We have Mrs. Mercy Adowah here to share her life experiences with us. My name is Martha. I will be leading the discussion. Thanks for joining us once again. Auntie Mercy, you are welcome.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
a
you very
privilege to
much.
have you.
I'm happy to be back again.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Mercy. Yes. Can you share a personal life lesson that has a profound impact on you and that has shaped who you are today?
Okay, thank you. Well, I will say that generally in life, if you don't learn a lesson, you will never become better. So, with every experience that you encounter, you have to try and learn a lesson out of it. My life, there's a lot that has shaped my life, but I remember certain events, especially growing up, when I used to have some challenges with my education, and I used to ask myself that maybe will I be able to even come out of all the challenges? I remember my encounter with my math teacher. It's one that will make you laugh. He would go over and over and over again, and I'll keep asking myself that what is this man really up to? So those were my childhood experiences. But aside that, I came to that point that I realized that if I am able to psych myself up and able to get the right people to encourage me, to support me, to keep on pushing me on, I will be fine. So, one of the lessons that I picked up from the struggle with mathematics, especially, was that I thought in my mind that it was difficult, but with constant, it became better. I tried to get those that were good. So even if you are not my friend, once I know there's mathematics lesson or there's something I don't understand, I'll try and come to you. And I will try as much as possible to get you to support me. So fast forward, out of school, now came to the job market. One of the most challenging things that I encountered was looking for a job. And I believe most people will identify with that. They can relate. You have your education, you have your certificate, you have your CV well prepared, but to land that job, it was a struggle, it was a challenge. For 5 years, so not 5 years continuous, but like 3 years and then another 2 years. That's how long it had taken to get a job. Through it all, I learned one thing, that sometimes these things happen so that they will humble you. Because you come to a point in your life where you think, I know it all, or I'm good enough. Until you go through some of these experiences, it refines you, it humbles you, it shapes you, it prepares you. Then when you are telling your story tomorrow, like I'm here sharing, you would have that real-time experience that you are sharing. So education, looking for job. And then the last thing I would want to mention is you finally land a job. Now, how to deal with that working environment, how to keep things going, how to achieve results, how to meet targets, how to manage your personal life with the work life, how to make sure that things are moving on properly. One side is not weighing you down too much, and it's like the other side will be neglected. Sometimes it becomes very hectic, especially if aside your mainstream job, you are maybe involved in any other thing. My personal experience was um, I'm involved in church activity, church ministry. So sometimes how to draw the balance between church and activities that need to be done and maybe meetings that you need to attend and all that, and how to meet your deadlines at work. You need to be able to get it right.
Oh,
That's what I'll say. So I learned to just humble myself, go through the challenge, and eventually we are here.
Mrs. Mercy Adowah is a member of the counselors team of Shoreway Assemblies of. Yeah, Auntie Mercy. With all that you have said, what is that one piece of advice you would wish to give your younger self, from all the experiences that you have gone through?
Okay, so what I would say is that first of all, seek God, talk to God. Sometimes we think it's very complicated, but you have to come to that point in your life where you are speaking to God like is your maker. So sometimes you have that conversation. God, I want to do A, B, C. What do you think? Sometimes make it a little bit informal. We are so engrossed in this formality of, trying to impress God with our words and all of that. But you have to come to that point where you just talk to him like you are talking to your father or maybe to your boss. Oh, daddy, you know this thing, we have to reconsider it. Why are you taking me through all of this? Sometimes even ask God questions. So this is one of the things that we really have to just work on. Now, one very important thing is you have to build relationships. These days, it's very easy to concentrate on yourself. Because after all, things are so hard. My sister. Everybody is under one pressure or another. But I tell you that the relationships you build today are the very things that are going to be like bridges for the next future, as in the next few days. So, to my younger ones, build lasting, long, good relationships. How are you going to do this? Let what I call mutual respect exist between you and that fellow that you are building the relationship. And I mean, here I am not talking solely about relationship that maybe is leading into marriage or husband and wife relationship. So I am talking generally about relationships. Now, this issue about building relationships, it's a very, let me say, difficult one to talk about. Why? Because, as I said, a lot of people have their own interests at heart. So, how do you go the extra mile for somebody? How do you get out of yourself and try and relate to somebody to get that result? It's a gradual process. Don't force it. One step at a time. Your goal is to make sure that in some days to come, things will be fine. Now, let me quickly add that personally, through all my life experiences, I have learned never sit to in as much as you want to build a very good relationship with people. Don't try so hard to impress people because it will surprise you that they are not even impressed. Who knows?
That's the truth. But
I'm telling you.
yeah.
Because they might not even be impressed. Once you are thinking, oh, let me do this. Let me give you a typical example. Maybe you're a wife. And then you tell yourself, oh, it's Christmas. I want to make that special dish, whatever you call it. You get your ingredients, you try, and in the quest to make maybe the family so excited and they will be happy, you'll probably end up being so stressed. And I'm not saying that to say you shouldn't, I mean, during occasions, but let me throw a caution in here. Don't let the motive be you impressing them. Do it out of love. So that's what I would say. Just do it out of the love that you have for them. But if you have it at the back of your mind that, oh, I want to impress them, they might not even be impressed.
True.
I'm sure you can relate,
Yeah.
and others watching us too can relate.
Exactly.
Because if you do it out of love, it's a different feeling. In that way, whether they accept it or they don't accept it, maybe not all of them will accept it, but if they accept it, you are fine. If maybe they are not too comfortable, they say, oh, why is it that this food is delaying? Because in your mind you were trying to impress, so you've taken all the time to do it. Now you make people angry. And then they are like, oh, mommy, today the food has delayed and all that. But if you are doing it out of love, I can assure you that those comments will not push you. Because I mean, you just love them and you just want to do it. And you would agree with me that everything that you do out of love and passion, you are relaxed about it.
Yeah.
So it works.
Wow, I'm enjoying you. In life, or we face challenges every now and then. Yeah. And the most, should I say, difficult part of it is bouncing back. And it's not everybody who is able to rise up again. Yeah, some fall and then they remain there. Yeah. So, have you ever faced any major setbacks, failures? And if you have, how did you bounce back from it?
I love this part.
Yeah.
You know why?
No.
Because there's always a bouncing back.
Yeah.
And one thing I realized is that when you bounce back, you will bounce back strong. And who doesn't want to bounce back strong? When you have been through it, when it has been tough, when you didn't know where help was going to come from, then suddenly you are there. And you feel that air of confidence. Bouncing back actually breaks your confidence back in a special way. Yeah. So let me share this one. It's quite personal, but it's okay. It would help someone. One major setback I faced in my life was the period of waiting to marry and the period of waiting to have the fruit of the womb. So it was, so let me just take us back a little. In this part of our world, I mean in Ghana and in Africa in general, from the age of 27, 28, 29, maximum 30, at least, people are looking forward to you settling down. If you are a lady, you settling down with a gentleman. If you are a gentleman, you settling down with a lady. So the major setback here for me was the delay. And I will say that it was something that wasn't easy. So I even past the age of 30. You can just imagine how it feels. So 30, then 31, then 32, then 33, then 34. And everyone is like, okay, so what's happening here? So that setback I will call delay. It was a huge. How do you even explain yourself to anybody? Because the natural tendency, especially for the older generation, is, oh, she doesn't respect. She has a very bad attitude. Meanwhile, all these people talking, they don't even know you. Or maybe she's hiding something. Something that when the gentleman comes close, they get to know and then they just push back. So the rumors, the talking behind your back, the backbiting, the concourse in our in our local finance all over the place. And don't forget that also comes with people looking down on you. It's a natural thing. Why is she single? Okay, we don't know. So you being single after 30, and that's the point I am trying to make. It's a big deal. And if you are not strong, I am telling you that depression can set in. And when depression sets in, you won't have it. How I bounce back, I will say, and support from the family. So 2 things. I talk to God. I cry when I had to cry. And I come back. And I talk to family. And then they would encourage you. Now, let me go to the real big deal. Finally, marriage came. Then now came the delay of childbirth. This is Ghana. And this is Africa. Hey, so she can't even have a child. What is she doing? Will be said behind your back. A whole lot will be said. And let me mention this for some that may be in similar situations. I am sharing my experience here because mine was a little unique. Some might have had the same setback, that's the delay in the childbirth. But for mine, it was unique in a way. And I'll say it was unique in a way because my partner actually had a son. So you can just imagine. The conclusion will be it's all about him. I hope you understand what
I do. I do perfectly. I understand.
It's all about her. I mean, how can she explain this? How can she explain this delay? So for those who knew that this was the real situation, you won't even be heard. You won't be allowed to explain yourself. The conclusions were already made, and you had to stay alive. You had to stay in the middle of the talk, from workplace to church to family to your neighborhood. 4 major places you find yourself, and everybody has something to say. And you cannot stop and explain to everybody, so you have to live your life. Just imagine. If somebody was bold enough to come to you and have a conversation with you, you would probably want to explain yourself. But then who can you trust? That's also another thing. So, I mean, you can allow them, let them say all kinds of things. But you just have to walk it in the midst of the talking, in the midst of the rumors, in the midst of the chaos, just to focus and do what is right and not give up on yourself. Still come out with a smile, still come out looking well dressed and all that. It's a lot. So this is my experience with setback, delay, and how I dealt with it. It was tough, but each day I had to wake up and convince myself that one day it will end. And indeed, it ended after some time.
Wow.
After some time, it ended.
I'm already learning a lot. A lot. Patience. That's what I just learned. It's not easy. I'm telling you a journey of patience. The journey. But it is what actually unlocks the door. Yeah. Thank God for patience.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Do you have mentors, or do you have books that you read that influence your perspective of life, or it's just probably your parents who actually motivate you, or where do you derive that kind of strength? Where do you derive it from?
Yes, so first, from my maker, God, obviously, my backbone, 24/7. And then my parents, they have been extremely supportive. That's what I can say. And I would take this opportunity to really appreciate advice, encouragement, advice, encouragement. Daily, daily. Really helped me through. Now, aside that, I have 2 people that I listen to. So, one of the people I listen to very often is Dr. Juanita Bynum. She's one of the women that whenever I look at her and I look at her story and where she came from and where she is now, I get inspired. I really get inspired. She really went through a lot, and it was just one day everything turned around, and today she's there where she is. And one other person I listen to very often is Apostle Joshua Selma. I pray with him sometimes when I get the opportunity. I listen to his messages a lot. And I will recommend. This one is just a recommendation. I'm not forcing it on anybody. But at least I'll recommend that if you have the time. Fortunately now social media, so it makes things easier. It's all over. You can just get them, follow their channels, and you get the updates. Book. One of my favorite authors is actually John C. Maxwell. I have read most of his books, not because he is a prolific writer, but because he writes a lot on leadership. And I realized that his compilations are a little different from what the others do. Leadership is key. If you don't know how to even lead yourself, you can't lead. And as a counselor, as a wife, growing up, you meet people and there's expectation of something that you have to impact into their lives. I get a lot of knowledge from his books. So basically, these are the people that have really helped me. But few friends. I'm somebody who doesn't make friends very easily because I observe a lot before I make friends. So, and it's one of the things I want our young people now to be very mindful of the kind of people they decide to choose as friends. Observe the people very closely before you associate with them so that you don't find yourself in any problem. You don't want to be sleeping and then you'll be called to come to the police to answer questions that you don't have answers to. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. That's mercy.
Yeah.
Can you share a life lesson that you hope to share with future generations or with your own children?
Okay. Beautiful question. I really love this question. I must be honest. So I'll say that never neglect family. Basic. You know, sometimes you have very difficult family members. But I say this, that nobody was born before they chose their family. Your family was actually chosen by God. And God knows why He put you in that family. So no matter the challenges that you face in the family setting, make sure that you work on it. You settle your differences and then bounce back. Friends, you have the opportunity to choose, but family is chosen by God. So how do you just decide as an individual that even though God put me in this family, I don't want to belong here? Because friends will come, neighbors, people will support you. But at the last minute, it will still be family. Someone will be on the hospital bed. At the last minute, that maybe they are giving up their soul, they are likely to call their wife or their husband or their children. Usually, these are the people that are there. If those people are not readily available, an uncle and auntie, it would definitely be an extended family member. So I will tell our young people today, and I have a lot of experiences with people who they are not talking to their mothers, they are not talking to their fathers for months, for weeks, for years, and it would have to take the intervention of other people. Let's not do this to ourselves. Young people, let the family be dear to your heart. Because when you are in dire need of support, even if all of them don't show up, one or two will show up. Because there's a saying that blood is thicker than water. Is it not? I would want to add that young people practice gratitude. One of the things that has helped me and really been, let me say, a trademark more or less, and I don't say this to boast, but it's something that I have tried to build over time. Practice gratitude. Remember the people that were there for you when nobody was bothered. Appreciate them. It could just be the least of things they did. When you practice the act of being grateful, you won't have so many grudges. Even grateful for life, grateful for that neighbor that came around just to ask, how's your daughter? Last time I saw you going to the hospital, how's she feeling now? Some of these things are little things, but they all build your inner joy, you see. So don't neglect family, practice gratitude. And don't look down on people. Don't walk into a place and think that naturally the best dressed person is the one that probably can help. It's not always the case, is it? And you would agree with me that somebody might be best dressed at that occasion that day because maybe they are celebrating a birthday or who knows, they are celebrating something, so they appeared very well. But that doesn't mean that that person would be the ultimate person to help you. So don't look down on that person. Today, maybe that boy is there selling pure water or is there selling some yogurt or something. Who knows? Maybe they are just trying to gather money and go to the university or polytechnic. You meet them the next minute and you say, oh, I know you. Oh, okay. You used to sell at that place. Ah, so where are you now? I'm in Lagos. That's it. Some person that you might have looked down upon will be the same person that would help your children or something. And let me add this. You have to make sure that, as I said in building relationships with people, make sure that you have the people that have your interest at heart. We have made those mistakes in the past, some way, somehow, we're not sure. But move on. You will be fine. You'll be fine. So these are some of the things that have really helped. I will add a few more just if we are out.
Yes. The last one on the list for
Yeah.
me. Do you have any principles, that really shape your actions, or that really determines why you do things the way you do?
Okay. Yes, I do. And I'll quickly mention 5 of them. Yeah. So, number 1, first and foremost, is keep your word. 2 people.
Wow.
I know it's a tough one.
Your word. I like that.
It's a tough
Your word.
one.
Yeah.
Keep your word.
Wow.
So when you tell me, Auntie Mercy, I'll call you at 3 o'clock. I am expecting your call at 3 o'clock.
Wow. That is
It's
Wow.
a very tough one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we are so precious. But, let people know you to be somebody that keeps their word. They will speak for you in your absence. I'm telling you. They will say, oh, it's for Auntie Mercy. If she says she will bring you A or B tomorrow, she will bring it. So it's a very difficult thing, but it's a natural process. Let people know you. I mean, that virtue. It really helps. You tell your boss, I'll send you the report tomorrow. Send it. Let your boss know that you keep your word. In that case, on a day that you fall short, your boss will not eventually come and say, I knew she won't send it. Or I knew he will not send it. Do you get my? Because constantly you have proven over time that you keep your word. So I am not sure that an opinion can be formed based on that one time you couldn't. And I don't think it would be fair for anybody to form an opinion because I couldn't keep my word. But if I am fond of not keeping my word, then the conclusion is, oh, she won't bring it. She will not send the report.
Yeah.
She won't come home at 9 p.m. She will eventually come at 11. She's only telling us she will come at 9. So these are some of the things. Number 2, to your time. Time. It's another tough one.
Yeah.
And I am telling you, I'm sitting here saying it, but it is not easy for me.
It's not easy.
But as I am saying, there's a saying that time is money.
Yeah.
Time is money. So the earlier the better. We utilize time to get results. Do you see what I mean? So as much as possible, be known not as a late woman. Oh, as for her, she will come now.
Some people, you know what they do?
Yeah.
If the program will start at 9,
Mm-hmm.
they will say, what time have you given? Have you given her? You should have given her 8,
Because they can be sure.
Very sure. You will not be on time.
You will not be on time. You will not be on
Yeah.
time. But there's a way that keeping your time really commands respect.
Exactly.
Because when people are dealing with you, they know that you will be there at 10 a.m. and they have to be there. But if they are not sure, then they can also do their own thing and appear there at 11 when you have waited. And 1 hour is a whole lot. So You keep your word, keep your time. Now, number 3 is keep your plan. And it's a tough one. But you see, if you don't keep to your plan, you are very likely to not achieve a particular result within a certain time. Even when you are writing an exam, advisedly, you put down your points just to have in mind what you want to do. So always have a plan and keep your plan. Try. It will be tough, but try. Sometimes you have interruptions, but try. Number 4, and this is even the toughest one. Keep to your budget.
I knew you would laugh. Yeah.
So we are in a very interesting time
Yeah.
where keeping to budget is a huge thing.
Unforeseen circumstances.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Whole lot comes.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's gradual. Gradually. We all falter sometimes. I mean, you set off in the month telling yourself, maybe I'm going to spend this amount on maybe food, and I'm going to spend this amount on maybe my clothing, and this amount is for maybe housekeeping, for instance. So this is for those of us who are married. For my younger people, you set off in the month just telling yourself that, okay, even though maybe my phone is not functional 100%, I want to buy a phone, for instance, in December. So let me just manage it till December and I'll get a phone. So it's not going to be easy, especially because you have to manage what you have and it becomes a challenge sometimes. But if that is what you have budgeted for, and that's the time that you think you would have enough funds, try. Some might decide, oh, let me just maybe take a loan and then buy it and all that. It doesn't make your plan work out because, and I'm not saying taking loans is a bad thing, but I'm just saying that sometimes when now you have to pay back, then it becomes an. So you try. And the 5th one, I would want to say, is keep your composure, especially when you are pressured. It is when you are pressured, whether with positive or negative. Sometimes you may be pressured with something that you didn't anticipate. However, don't throw in the towel. You just have to keep your composure. Maybe you are in the house with your kids. You want to just take a nap, and before you realize, one of them just shows up and mommy, daddy, and all that. You really, really need that rest. It's tough. But
Wow.
the harder you try, the better you become. And I will repeat that it's gradual. So these are the 5 things that guide me as a person. And I wouldn't sit here and say that it is easy, but it's doable. It's workable. It is, I'm telling you. Possible. So keep your word, keep your time, keep your plan, keep to your budget, and keep your composure.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Auntie Mercy. You know what I've learned and I'll keep with me.
Tell me.
Value family. Value family. You know, family is everything. Husbands, take care of your wives and love them. And wives, respect your husbands and love them. You know, friends are there, but when there is an emergency, it is your wife who will take care of you. It is your husband who will take care of you. It is your brother or sister they will call. Family is everything. Value your family. Auntie Mercy, this is Jake. I love it. Thank you so much. And thanks for watching us. Please, let's do this again next week.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.